when did you start to get into cigars?
Man, so my cigar journey started probably, and I'm gonna take a guess here because I don't remember the exact year, but if I had to guess, it's been about 19 years, somewhere between 18 and 20 years ago. I was working uptown Charlotte, working at the banks, and I met this guy who had just started experimenting with cigars. And there was a cigar shop in one of the Bank of America towers called Tinderbox. Tinderbox is still around to this day. Actually, they are one of our partners in the Cigar Festival. So we'll be actually doing an event with them on Saturday afternoon. It's going to be a beer and cigar festival. But, you know, I used to walk by this cigar shop and we used to see these, you know, older white men sitting in there smoking cigars. It was very, very tiny spot. You know, it wasn't a lounge where you can go in and sit down. It was basically a grab and go spot because they only had 2 seats in there. But this white coworker used to grab cigars out of there, and he would smoke during our lunch breaks. And so one day I decided, hey, you know, what is this all about? I want to try it. But in retrospect, so this was probably 19 years ago. In retrospect, when I look back, I thought he knew a lot about cigars. But this guy knew shit about cigars because back then we were smoking. Listen, we were smoking like these. I'm not gonna say Monte Cristo is not Monte Cristo, but like what is that other brand? Let's go. Monte Cristo was one of the first brands I started smoking. It used to come in that white, that yellow tube. They still sell it to this day. So I used to smoke those, and I knew nothing about cigars, but I fell in love with it instantly.
Welcome back to another great episode of the TheVisionLab podcast in partnership with Nexum Creative. I'm your host, Ryan Cuffey, alongside my co-host, Mr. Ryan Mosley. The TheVisionLab is the official growth mindset podcast for all visionaries worldwide, showing mad love to the cigar community. It's here in the lab where we uncover people's visions and dreams and how those dreams actually come into reality. Folks, it's all about tapping into and becoming the best versions of ourselves through self-examination, self-actualization, and self-realization. Hey, Mo, what do we have in the lab?
Cuff, today's guests are part of the collective that has formed the Queen City Cigar Fest in the Queen City of Charlotte, North Carolina. Please welcome Damon Goldie Robinson and Clinton Douglas to the TheVisionLab podcast.
What up, what up, what up? Good morning, gentlemen. How we doing?
We're doing great. Thank you for having us.
Absolutely, absolutely. Goldie, it's been a minute, bro. We had you on a couple of seasons ago, always full of energy, knows cigars in and out. How you been, bro?
Doing pretty good, bro. Thanks for having us on, man. I was surprised, pleasantly surprised, I should say, when Drita had told us, like, hey, you know, I gotta, you know, Drita's, unfortunately, Drita can't be here right now. She had an emergency, a family emergency come up. She had to attend to. We would have loved for her to be here as always, but you know, family comes first. But you know, Drita, amongst other things, Drita is in charge of our PR campaign. So when she said that, oh, you know, we got TheVisionLab podcast coming up, I'm like, yeah, dope. Like this country boy. Like I was on this show like last year, so I'm like, that's what's up. So I was looking forward to it.
Time flies, and so we're certainly humbled and honored to have you guys jump into the lab with us. And special prayers for Drita and her mother as she wasn't able to make it today. But let's just jump on into it. So, what is Queen City Cigar Festival? What's this about?
Go ahead, David. Take it.
Take it. All right. Well, basically, the Queen City Cigar Fest is a celebration of the Charlotte cigar community, Charlotte cigar culture, I should say. You know, the way I look at it is culture in any shape, form, or fashion, regardless of what genre we talk about. Culture is a combination of the industry and the community. So it's a celebration of the cigar shops and the celebration of the cigar community, people who support the shops. And this is one of the this is the inaugural event, yes, but this is also the first time that anything like this of this magnitude has ever been done for Charlotte, North Carolina. There was a shop like years ago before I moved here. I think a shop called Outlet. They used to do a cigar event like for maybe a day or maybe a weekend, but it was just to benefit that lounge. So again, this is the first time that anything has ever been done where it's a multi-lounge, multi-day event. So, myself, Clint, and Drita, we being three people who are heavily immersed into our local cigar community, we felt it was high time for Charlotte to get put on the map, so to speak, within the cigar culture. And so we just decided to go ahead and put it together. And it's been a lot of work. I wouldn't say it's hard work. It's just the magnitude of work and logistics, a lot of moving pieces. It just takes a lot of time and a lot of energy, a lot of thought, a lot of creativity, a lot of conversations, a lot of meetings. But
Right.
it's all worth. It's all worth it.
Well, while we get into, I want to get into that, but before we do, I want to jump into the actual dates of the event, and I want you guys to drop your social media handles for anyone that's going to be, in the area or looking for a cigar festival or event to go to. Can you drop your social media and then tell us when the actual event is?
Okay, sure.
Yeah,
So
go ahead.
first and foremost, I want everyone that's tuning in tonight to follow Queen City Cigar Fest. That's @ Queen City Cigar Fest on IG, and also that is the same handle we're going with on Facebook. Myself, I'm Mr. C Diddy on IG. That's MRCDIDDY on IG. If you want to follow me personally, I also drop a lot of information with respect to the festival on my page as well. And Damon, I'll let you tell him. Your handle is a little longer. Sometimes I forget it. Good.
Yeah, so my handle is Damon _ the cigar culturalist. So DAMON _ THECIGARCULTURALIST.
Well, you got all the
Yeah, I
alphabet,
know it's a little long.
alphabet in your handle.
Right. And as far as the dates goes, the Cigar Fest will take place on May 19th through the 23rd in Charlotte, North Carolina. Our events are primarily centered around Uptown Charlotte. For those that will be visiting from out of states that would like to attend, our host hotel is the Aloft, Uptown Charlotte, North Carolina. And it's going to be 5 days of, 2 events a day. I think we're doing a total of, 9 or 10 events. And, we're trying to do something special for the city, and we're trying to put on for anybody that's trying to come and visit us for that weekend. It's going to be crazy.
Let's get into that then, right?
Yeah.
So what was how did this all come to be? How did the three of you, come together and say, yo, we need to put something on for the city and the cigar community? How did all that unfold?
Okay, so the original idea was actually birthed like 3 years ago. It was shortly after Damon moved to Charlotte, actually. Damon from the Midwest had moved to Charlotte, and he was, instantly when I met the guy, it was instant to me that he had an immense knowledge about cigars. And after knowing him about a year, he approached me with the idea 3 years ago to do the Queen City Cigar Fest. We didn't have a name for it, but he had the idea. The idea was birthed actually 3 years ago. At that time, I was busy. I was too busy to take on another project of this magnitude. Actually, I was in the process of filming a reality show. I had a lot going on. I'm like, Damon, listen, that's something I can't take on right now. you know, and fast forward 3 years later, he came to me with the idea again. And I thought it was a great idea. You know, in between that time, from the first time that he told me about the event, his idea, from then to that point, I had been to other cigar fests in other cities, you know, so I'd been to, you know, Atlanta before. I'd been to Houston. I experienced this, you know, their cigar culture. I experienced DC cigar culture. I experienced Vegas cigar culture. And Damon was like, you know, we need to show, you know, the nation how Charlotte does it. He was very adamant about, you know, just showcasing the Charlotte cigar culture, and we wanted to put that on the map, and that's where it was birthed from.
Yeah, basically, I moved here in 2016, and I had the idea of doing. I didn't have the idea of calling it Queen City Cigar Fest, but I had the idea of doing something for this, you know, Charlotte market. I didn't exactly know what it was, but I was a newbie here. I couldn't just come into a city where I didn't know anybody and say, "Oh, we're about to put on a cigar week." That, you know, that sounds stupid.
Right.
So, you know, I spent the time. And incidentally, you know, Clint was actually one of the first people that I met, and because Clint has a group called Cigar and Whiskey Nights, where he and his partners would do. Didn't you do like quarterly events, Clint?
No, we did like, yeah, about that, maybe every 6 to 8 weeks, something like that, every other month type of thing.
Okay. So yeah, I met Clint, one of my frat brothers, because even though I didn't know anybody in the cigar community here, I had, you know, family here, and I also had friends who were alumni from Tennessee State University who lived here. And one of them, my frat brother friend Maurice Wilson, he knew of Clint, he knew of Herb Gray and Yandrick, and he took me to a whiskey and cigar event, which incidentally, he doesn't even smoke cigars or drink whiskey, right. But you know, he took me to the event because he knew that I did. He wanted to try to get me to introduce me to some people. And like I said, you know, Yandrick and Clint and Herb Gray was some of the first 3 people that I met. And then, you know, Clint and I slowly formed, you know, a relationship that eventually turned into a friendship. And so he was one of the primary people that I wanted to be involved with this. But when I brought it up, which was like maybe a year or 2 after I moved here, it was kind of bad timing. You know, Clint he's the veteran charlatan of the group. He's also who we call our Charlotte socialite. You know, everybody knows Clint. And you know, he was at the time he was filming a reality show, and so it was just bad timing. And incidentally, when you look back on it, if we had done it at the time, there were some other shops that were not open. Like, for instance, Taylor Smoke didn't have the Concord location. Gold Leaf Cigar Lounge didn't exist. Smoke and Barrel didn't exist. You know, that's basically our whole Thursday lineup. You know, Friday.
We didn't have a lot of cigar lounges here, period.
Yeah, you're right. No, so saying is just like, so far as our week is concerned, it's like, you know, a lot of lounges didn't even exist at the time. So when we came back to it last year, even though it was during COVID, it still felt like it was the right time. We didn't really know how the whole COVID thing was going to shake out. Fortunately for the entire United States, then, you know, the numbers are, you know, for a lot of places are trending downward. I know North Carolina, the numbers are definitely trending downward. You know, I've been vaccinated and things of that nature. And fortunately for us, we live in a red state. So the governor has, you know, loosened up rather the restrictions on a lot of the lounges and bars and whatnot. So things are moving in the right direction for us. And it was just a good time for us to do it.
So for those listening, right, obviously you guys are in Charlotte. I'm curious when it comes like the actual nuts and bolts of planning this out. Did you guys have to get the name Queen City Cigar Fest cleared by anybody? I mean, obviously, you know, Cup and I know that's the nickname for the city of Charlotte, but did you guys have to talk with the city or anybody like that to use that as the front part of the name for the festival?
Absolutely not. You know, with anything that pertains to business, you know, we just took it. We took the name by the reins and we just ran with it, and we didn't ask or didn't feel like we need to get it cleared with anyone. We don't, Queen City Cigar Fest was something that was not trademarked. No one owned that name at the time. We took it and we ran with it. We pondered over the different names. We went from Charlotte Cigar Fest to Queen City Cigar Fest. We pondered over different names, and we came up with Queen City Cigar Fest. And we did a little bit of research, and it was something that we could move forward with legally, and we trademarked it, and we moved forward.
We live in DFW, and there's not really a huge cigar event out here. Now we know about Houston, we know about Atlanta, so on and so forth, but you certainly see a number of these cigar events or festivals, these premier events. And so just kind of curious from your experience what that looks like. But let me shift gears and kind of ask you from a planning perspective, when it comes to the logistics, for someone that's actually looking to put on a premier event, right? What are some of the things that they can expect to run into, right? And what type of mindset do they need to have when putting on a major event like this?
Let me touch on this, and then I'll let Damon chime in. One thing that people should expect that we didn't expect was city politics. You know what I mean? We ran into, situations where we have very influential people in the city that have, a hold on certain aspects of the cigar business in the city, right? And so when we approach certain lounges about participating in the event, some of them like to follow the lead of, organizations that have a hold on the sale of cigars or, have certain influences on the culture. You know what I mean? So, we ran into situations where, people didn't want, or lounges didn't want to be involved because very influential organizations in the city wasn't involved in the beginning. And so they were kind of reluctant to get involved because they didn't know what to expect. Because this is our inaugural event. And I was surprised to see this, but certain, lounges were very apprehensive about being involved because they brought up situations that, could reflect on them, negatively. Or if something negative was going to happen with the event, they didn't want to be associated with that. So I chalked that up to, very political situations because, if this person wasn't involved because they're very influential in the city with respect to cigars, they didn't want to be involved. If this person not involved, well, I'm gonna sit on the sidelines and, I'm not sure if I want to be involved. So I say all that to say that, although our calendar is full with very, very popular and great cigar lounges, not all of the cigar lounges here in Charlotte are involved for various reasons, because we couldn't fit them in the schedule, or because they didn't want to be involved because it's our inaugural event and they had issues, that they thought, they may, didn't want to be involved with. What do you think about that, Damon? You want to touch on that a little bit? The politics. I mean, I didn't see that coming. I thought because we're trying to put on, because we're trying to put on for the city, that every cigar lounge would want to, would be very, very gung-ho about being involved. You know what I mean? You would think that a cigar lounge would want to be involved because we're bringing, hundreds and potentially thousands of people to their lounges, or put the spotlight on their lounge for this particular weekend, and because of that will bring them more customers, going forward. Some just, were kind of reluctant. So, but it's all good. Our schedules is packed, and we couldn't actually fit all of the lounges that wanted to participate. We couldn't get them all in, but we did run into some political issues around that.
Damon, before I let you chime in, we're talking about working with lounges, and one of the lounges that we work with faithfully is the good folks at Blowing Smoke Cigar Lounge. EB, thank you so much for all your support. We look forward to the new location. Devontae, DJ Too Clean, thank you guys so much. We really appreciate all your support. Ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't had a chance to get there yet, the Instagram handle is at Blowing Smoke. We promise you're going to have a great experience when you get there. The customer service is top notch, and obviously a great selection in their humidor.
That's right. That's right.
Well, I guess it's now time for me to jump in. Clint put me on the spot with that one. Well, before I jump into that, I do want to make sure I mention this because I don't think we touched on it. If Clint did while I was trying to chime back in, then I apologize. But I just want to make sure that we mention this, that even though, I approached Clint with the idea and that during the time it was bad timing, we came back, Drita, or, Drita being our friend, we felt like that she would be an integral part of what we were doing. So bringing her on was like a no-brainer. So just want to make sure that, we give our third partner a shout out and, express the value that she has with what we're doing.
Absolutely.
Now, as it pertains to Clint put me on the spot with that, I can concur.
The only reason why I put you on the spot, Damon, because you could articulate what I was trying to say more eloquently.
So, okay, Clint said the truth. There's no lie or ambiguity to anything that he said. Basically, what it is that I was tasked or volunteered, however you want to put it, with going around to all the different lounges, trying to gain some, what's the word I'm looking for? Basically, try to get them involved. I was writing letters to people first, and then following up with phone calls, and then meetings and whatnot. And Clint was right. There were certain lounges that were very apprehensive about being involved for whatever reason. I can attest to what was told to me, which was by certain lounges saying that, well, we don't really have the space, which is true. What we're doing gonna bring a lot of people, and some of the lounges they don't have the space on the inside, because see, the thing is that all the lounges that we're dealing with, they have a bar in addition to a either walk-in humidor or the standard retail humidors, and their venue accommodates a much larger amount of people. Some of the other lounges most of the lounges that are not involved do not have bars, so their seating capacity is a lot less. So what was told to me is, well, I don't want to have an event in here and have a bunch of people in here taking up seats that my regular customers aren't going to have a seat. I understood that, which was I was trying to involve them during the daytime events where you're not going to have quite as many people. And they were still just like very apprehensive about it, gave me a lot of reasons why, which I chalked to some of them up as reasons, other them I deemed as maybe some excuses. The word I kept hearing a lot was RISK. To Clint's point, people were basically saying that, well, we're a part of this. If something bad happens with Queen City Cigar Fest, and that's going to be a negative impact on my business, which could be true. But at the same time, if something positive happens, there's going to be something positive that happens for your business. If you look at our Instagram, we do promo videos for every single lounge that is participating. We've done it for Taylor Smoke. We did it for Smoke and Barrel. We just posted one for Goldie. We did two this past on Friday and Saturday at Aroma Cigars, and then one for the Cigar Law, which will be posted sometime next week. And so this is all free advertising. They're not paying for any of that. We go to the lounge, we take some good videos, some good shots, try to capture the vibe of the lounge. So yeah, it's all good for them. But I get it. I try to just chalk it up to this being our inaugural event, and maybe they don't have any basis for comparison. Because see, the thing is some of the lounges that aren't involved, they haven't been to Atlanta Cigar Week. They haven't been to Atlanta Cigar Experience. They haven't been to any other week. So they don't really have a basis for comparison. All they're looking at is, oh, it's going to be a bunch of people coming to Charlotte smoking cigars. I don't really know how I feel about having all these extra people in here. So I would say that maybe they're just early for next year. They need to see how it's going to work out this year. And then, maybe we can expand the week to maybe 6 or 7 days and then involve them in some capacity. So, I get it. I get it.
So let me ask you this. So let's get to it, right? What can people expect from the actual events? Like, you guys start on May 19th all the way to the 23rd. Like, what can people expect when this actually kicks off?
Well, so I'll just give you a rundown, right? So the week starts on Wednesday at 12 noon. That's one of our 3 signature events. And by signature, we mean the paid event. So it's from 12 to 5, we have an event at the Cigar Loft where we're working with AJ Fernandez Cigar Company, and we're doing an actual cigar and whiskey pairing event featuring Basil Hayden's and Woodford. So it's not just going to be one of those situations where, you just come in, grab some cigars, grab some drinks, and you smoke and drink. No, it's a pairing event where we're going to say educational and social event where we're going to be discussing the different notes in the tobaccos, the flavors or whatnot, and then how they pair or do not, because a lot of this stuff is very subjective. Everybody's palate is different about how these different things pair with these 2 particular spirits. And then that, obviously, that's not going to take 5 hours. The first 2 hours of that will be that. We'll have a brief half-hour intermission. The second half of that, we have a certified therapist coming in who deals specifically in relationship therapy. And he's going to come in and do a seminar of sorts during the second part, which would be great for people, whether you're single or you're in a relationship or whatnot. It'd be great conversation. That night, we have our kickoff event at Taylor Smoke Uptown. Then on, which is going to, since we got the information back, I can go ahead and share it with you. That night is going to feature the cigar brand HVC Cigars. And then on Thursday, the day event is going to be at Smoke and Barrel in Mount Holly. Don't have any no definite information about what cigar brand they're going to be working with yet. I thought they was going to be working with one brand, but I just found out recently that they're not actually on board as of yet. So I don't want to release any information. But live music, they're gonna have a live band out there. We're gonna be running some great cigar deals. And the thing is, like, I've asked all the lounges to just pick whoever they want, whoever their preferred brand is, just pick a brand and just run some amazing deals, something that people can't get on any normal day just walking into the lounge. So that's the modus operandi for the entire week. And then that night, we have our big event at Goldie Cigar Lounge, where I'm pretty sure that the featured cigar brand is going to be Aganorsa Cigars. Smoking one right now, the Aganorsa Corojo. On Friday, the entire Friday is going to be SOTL Day, and also Drita's going to be celebrating her birthday that day. The day event is going to be at Aroma Cigar, etc., where the featured brand will be Ashton Cigars. That night, we will be at Taylor Smoke Concord, where the featured brand will be Carolina Blue Cigars, which you're smoking, Cuff, the Carolina Blue Habano, Nicaragua Habano.
Shout out to CB.
Shout out to Chris Moore. And Saturday, cigar. Yeah, I turned Clint on today. You're like, oh man, this is an amazing cigar. And then on Saturday, we have our other 2 signature events. Saturday during the day, we have the Beer and Cigar Festival, which is going to be in conjunction with Altadas and Tinderbox. And then that night, we have our cigar dinner called Puros en Blanco, which basically is a cigar dinner in white. And with Espinosa Cigars, is going to be in the epicenter. It's going to be at Clint, what's the name of the spot? Blackfin.
Is the space that formerly known as Blackfin.
Right, Blackfin and Mirror Pub. So the thing is, because of COVID, unfortunately, a lot of the businesses in the epicenter have shut down completely and permanently. So, but that bodes well for us, because that means that we were able to get a former restaurant, which has 2 levels, and we were able to get it and host a catered cigar dinner and you will be able to actually smoke inside the venue. We have live entertainment, cash bar, giveaways. And then on Sunday is the last day. We'll be doing a cigar event over at 1501 South Mint. We're doing a cigar brunch. And that's pretty much it.
One more time, either one of you, Clint or Goldie, drop your website, your social media handles for people to be able to get all the information for the entire festival.
Sure. So sure. The website is queencitycigarfest.com. Please tune into that website. That website is constantly evolving. We're dropping more and more information on that on a weekly basis. As of now, we have not dropped all the intricate details of the theme of each individual events. That's something that's going to be coming out in the next couple of weeks. So we need people to really stay tuned to that website, because that's where all the information will be released, as well as our Instagram, our social media platforms as well. So as far as IG, we're Queen City Cigar Fest on IG and Facebook. Again, we're going to be dropping in the next couple of weeks a lot of information on the specific events. Right now, all people know is what we're going to be doing where we're going to be on each day. However, we have not dropped all the details on each individual events, and that'll be happening over the next couple of weeks. So, go to the website.
What you guys are mentioning is partnerships and collaborations, and one of the most important partnerships that we have is with the good folks at Class A Vodka. Crystal and Tim, thank you guys so much for your support. Ladies and gentlemen, we stand on this product for a reason. It is unlike any other vodka you've ever had. The Instagram handle is at Class A_vodka, I do believe, and that's Class A with a K. Crystal, Tim, thank you again for all your support. Visionaries, or anybody out there who's listening for the first time, if you have not had your chance to get your hands on this vodka, send them a DM. They will make sure you're taken care of. That's Class A vodka.
It's outstanding. So working with vendors, you've got a team of 3 or so that are working to get the Queen City Cigar Festival off the ground, up and running for its annual and inaugural event. I'm curious to know, and this is for either one of you, but how do you decide who handles what responsibility among the 3 of you guys?
Okay, so I'll take that a little bit. We like Damon said in the beginning of the podcast, we all 3 of us come with unique skills or whatever to the event, right? We have me, I'm more the social guy. Everybody knows me in town. I know everybody and blah, 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 right? So I'm good for a lot of marketing. I'm an IT professional, so I'm the one that's responsible for the website and anything technical that goes on with QC Cigar Fest. Drita is famous in the cigar industry as, just her brand is tremendous in the cigar industry. And then Damon is just, our tobacconist, our cigar expert, right? So what we did, our approach to sponsorships and things like that was it happened naturally. I worked on the sponsorship package, handed it over to the group. Damon, it was just, I have to give this guy props, man. This gave him the sponsorship package. This guy was just tremendous in his aggression with going after sponsorship with respect to this festival. And he was able to pull in, a tremendous amount of support for this festival. And I'm not talking about just money, just, pulling in, cigar, manufacturers or vendors, companies that, produce, accessories or whatever. Damon was just very instrumental in pulling in a lot of different sponsors. And that's going to translate to a lot of benefit to our attendees, for our VIP ticket holders, what he was able to do in getting all of our sponsors involved and all the giveaways that we're going to have, like our swag box, which we call the Queen City Queen City Cigar Fest Survival Kit. It's going to have a tremendous amount of, things that we're going to give to our VIP holders, from cigars to cigar accessories, T-shirts and things of that nature. And I gotta attribute that to Damon, and his relationships with a lot of companies in the cigar industry. So we all just, pulled out different talents and our relationships, and made it all happen,
So Clinton, I'm
I'm
gonna
tell you something. Let me say this real quick, because Clinton is really underselling this with respect to himself, right? And I appreciate him saying all of that, and but that the way that he just presented that just shows the amount of humility that Clinton has, which is why I like him as a person, right? Not just my partner as a friend, but as a person. But he's vastly underselling his value to our group. Let me just put him on the pedestal real quick and just tell the truth about Clint. It was my idea. Yes, Clint was. If we didn't have Clint, we would not be where we are right now, because Clint was the seed money. I'm just gonna put that out there. Clint was a seed money. Clint was the one who helped us grow our Instagram account. He was paying for that. And he volunteered. He went ahead and just put the money up. He went and got the website done. He paid for that. Our first few promo videos had a cost to it. He was paying for that. And then when we started getting money in, then you just got, reimbursed for it. But he was very instrumental from that aspect, right? But that's not his only value. Yeah, he said that, yeah, everybody knows Clint, which is true, right? A lot of people love Clint, which is true. But, Clint comes to us one day and says, hey, I just got a few of my guys to donate like $3,000-$4,000 to be sponsors and stuff. like what? Then, we sitting out there at the vintage. It's like, yeah, I just got 4 of my guys going and buy VIP packages.
That would not have made the event though. It was you and Drita's relationship.
I get you. Stop trying to undersell yourself, man. Just
really
let me put you on the pedestal to tell you the truth about you real quick, man. Just hush. Let me put you on the pedestal, because I'm telling you right now, like Clint, I call Clint our big money guy. Like, yeah, I go out and get the cigar sponsors and stuff like this. And we're going to get to Drita in a minute, because I want to make sure we put Drita on the pedestal, because she's very instrumental. And I'm going to get to that in 1 second. But Clint is very instrumental. He's a big money guy. He just go out and talk to people like, oh, you need $1,000? Cool, here you go. Just because they know Clint. Just because they know Clint. Here's $1,000. Go put my name on the t-shirt. Boom, done. Like, you see what I'm saying? It's like, that's the kind of value, extra value, I should say, that Clint has. And then you look at Drita. Drita's not only just, Instagram favors or, cigar favors or whatever. If it was not for Drita, we would not have our Espinosa cigar dinner sponsor. It would have been, somebody else that would have had to try to work on. It was her relationship with Eric Espinosa that got that, what we're doing. So I want to give a big shout out to Drita. And, Drita is also handling, in addition to handling that,
I know you watching.
She also handles our PR. Well, she ain't watching right now. She'll be watching later. But she's our PR lady. She's the one who set this interview up. Every interview we have, Drita is the one who sets that up. She's, just like Clint said, I always use the example of Romacraft, right? I was talking to Mike Rosales, and he summed this up very well, and I think this kind of applies to us. He was saying that him, Mike Rosales, Skip, and also their partner Esteban Disler, who runs the factory, they're like 3 legs of a chair. Each one of them have a specialized skill set, and they bring all of that to the table. You remove one of those chairs, one of those legs, and the chair falls down. Well, that's very similar to us. Each one of us has a specialized skill set, and we just bring that to the group, and it just makes it better.
So that's great information, and I absolutely love how all of you guys have certainly had a integral part in growing this for the inaugural event. We've kind of talked about what it looks like from a logistics perspective, what it looks like to work with as a team, and how each one of you guys serve to the better good of the Queen City Cigar Festival. What I'm curious to know is, as you look up and look forward, what is the vision for Queen City Cigar Festival moving forward?
Well, I guess there's more of a two-part question. So to address the first part, how we work together, is is like brothers and sisters. We're always sitting here arguing over text messages, arguing at doggone meetings, you know. And I would probably say that I'm probably the one that they argue with the most because I want things to go a certain way, and they're like, man, just calm down. We don't, it's gonna work out, So they always have to try to calm me down.
Yeah, why are we not surprised? I gotta calm you down.
Yeah.
Fuck both of y'all. But yeah, so they are the ones like they've been in Charlotte the longest. I'm the rookie of the group, so to speak. I've been there since 2016, but I'm still the rookie of the group. And so yeah, they're like, oh, Damon, we understand this market, yada 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 yada. Don't worry about it. I'm like, okay, all right, cool, yeah, all right, yeah. But we always argued over something that I think is a big issue. Like, nah, man, don't even worry about it, forget it. Obviously they're talking about, why folks want to sit in and hate on what we doing. They're like, man, fuck them. Like shit, you know what I'm saying? So I just have to take the same attitude. Like, yeah, fuck them. But outside of that, man, we really work well together because you look at any in a group of brothers and sisters, they're blood and they're close, but yeah, they argue, but at the end of the day, they love each other, they get stuff accomplished. That's the same thing with us, man. We like brothers and sisters. We argue, we fuss, and we fight, but at the end of the day, we still love each other, and we recognize the value that each one of us has that we bring to the table, and we never lose sight of that because it's not about me, it's not about Clint, it's not about Drita, it's about the culture. And that's the message that I really want people to understand. If anybody, and the reason I'm saying that is because I'm sitting over at Taylor Smoke and I was talking to Preston, and one of the things that came up in our conversation is that he was saying that some people think that we got involved in this, we're doing this as a money grab. Anybody who knows me and knows Drita and knows Clint, they know darn good and well this is not a money grab. We are doing this for the culture. Are we gonna make some money off of it? Of course. I mean, it's a business. Every business is designed to make a profit, but the amount of money that we're gonna make is minuscule and compared to the cost of the event and also the value that we are providing to the people. We're basically doing is just getting compensated for our time and our effort and the money that we put up. So this is not a money grab. And anybody in the cigar industry who knows this, like especially my, our homeboy Don with AJ Fernandez, who's been very instrumental with helping us with the Cigar Loft event. He knows, he's even talked about it. He's like, yeah, I know it's not a money grab because y'all are doing it. And I'm quoting him. He said, y'all are doing this the right way.
In talking about doing things the right way, there's a group that's moving and they move mountains together, and a group that does it the right way.
Yeah, that's the good folks at Dallas Leaf, the entire army that is Dallas Leaf LLC. Ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't, worked with them in the past, I suggest you figure out a way to work with them in the future, whether it is a charity event, entertainment. They also make great cigars. Dallas Leaf LLC is where you need to get to. The website is DallasLeafLLC.com. The Instagram handle is @DallasLeafLLC. Again, we're telling you, if you're anywhere here in DFW, you need an event, and you want strength in numbers, make sure you contact the good folks at Dallas Leaf LLC.
Is that brother that owns that Dallas Leaf? Is his name Ron?
Yep. Hey, the one and only.
Yeah.
Yep.
So we've been talking to Ron. I've been talking to Ron for a couple months now. Ron intends to be a sponsor of this Cigar Fest. So yeah, hey, we're trying to work something out with him right now.
It's funny you mentioned it, right? Like for anybody who hasn't worked with Ron in the past, when Ron tells you he's going to do something, he does it.
He gets it done.
That's the word. He gets it done, and he's been an amazing support for us since we entered into our relationship with Dallas Leaf. He's been on point since the day I met him, and we can't say thank you enough to him and the entire team at Dallas Leaf LLC.
That's right. So as we start to land the plane, One thing that we need to uncover, we're about a week away from the event itself, and I'm sure you guys are extremely excited to see all of the hard work and the fruits of your labor start to manifest. But what are we looking at in terms of ticket prices as well as any type of survival kits? I think you mentioned that before, and your VIP programs that you guys have.
You want me to take that, Clint?
Yeah.
Okay, so with regard to the ticket prices, so we have 3 ticket prices. Of course, we have the VIP ticket, which is all inclusive. The thing we want to get across to people is that it has tremendous value, right? Some people just kind of look at it like, oh, maybe they get sticker shock from the 225, but we understand what goes into it, and that you're getting at least twice the value of it. Then you'll much better appreciate it, because when you get a VIP, all of the lounges that we're doing business with, they are all private lounges, because state of North Carolina basically says that if you sell cigars and you sell alcohol, then you have to be a private lounge, which means you have to charge a membership fee. They don't dictate what that membership fee is. They just says you have to charge a membership fee. So everybody has varying levels of, it could be like a day pass or maybe a 1-year membership. But if you're a VIP person, all of that is included. You don't have to pay any membership fees when you go to any of the lounges if you're a VIP. If you're not a VIP, then you're subject to paying whatever those are. It's $225, and of course you get that. You will get the AJ Fernandez cigar and whiskey pairing on Wednesday at the Cigar Loft. You'll get everything on Saturday, which is the Cigar and Beer Festival, and then of course the cigar dinner. And the cigar dinner, sponsored by Espinosa, comes with 3 Espinosa cigars. At the beer festival, you'll get at least 2 cigars. Now, you're looking at the what Clint touched on earlier, which is our Cigarfest survival kit, right? It's more than just it's not a swag bag, because people think about when they swag bag, it's just cigars. It's a survival kit. Like, what would you need to survive a cigar fest? Of course, you need cigars, but it will have cigars in it. It will have a T-shirt in it. It will have accessories in it. They'll have different cigar-related accoutrements, different things that a cigar lover would need. What do you think about cigar lover would need? Maybe some fresh breath. So we'll have things in there, for your breath to freshen in between cigars, things that might pair well with cigars, like some chocolate mints or, things of that nature. You will have raffle tickets in there for raffle prizes. And I would be remiss if I didn't announce this, that, some of our Cigarfest Survival Kit sponsors are, of course, HumiSmart. Everybody knows about Boveda, but less people kind of talk about HumiSmart. HumiSmart does the same thing that Boveda does, right? And they have graciously come aboard and said, we want to sponsor the entire Cigarfest Survival Kit. So they are keeping all of our cigars in the kit fresh with their packs. So shout out to HumiSmart. We want to shout out to Perfect Cigar Solutions. If you guys see, there's a lot of like those cigar numbers on the market, which are great, but Perfect Cigar Solutions has, in my opinion, and I know Clint uses it too because he has one. To me, it is the absolute best cigar draw poker number I have ever used. I don't have to use it often, but when I do, it is absolutely perfect. And
give them the dollar value on that, man.
That's like, well, you can get it like for $20, I think, on Amazon or whatever, but it typically goes for like $29.99. And then they also have the Cigar Glue, which actually works very well, considering the fact that sometimes you smoke a cigar and your wrapper might get cracked. Well, you take this little cigar glue, which basically looks like a little a fingernail polish bottle, but has cigar glue in it. You just brush it on, you fix the wrapper, boom, your cigar is saved. Then it also has their cigar pack in it. It's an accessory pack. It's called the Perfect Pack. So all 3 of those things will be raffling off to VIP guests. We also will be raffling off the neat glass. A lot of people know about the Glencairn, but the Glencairn glass, although it's the most popular whiskey glass, is actually not the best whiskey glass. The neat glass is scientifically designed to produce a much better spirit experience, regardless of what type of spirit you're using. I've done a live tasting with it using a rocks glass, a Glencairn, and that one, it is the best. I know Clint. Hey, Clint, talk to that real quick, because I know you said that you did one yourself at home.
Listen, you know, typically people, like, if you talk to a seasoned, whiskey drinker, typically they'll say, drop a ice cube or drop of water in and open up your whiskey. With this particular glass, you don't have to do that. The glass is scientifically designed where it will open up and pull out the alcohol out of your spirit without the use of ice or water, because it just fumigates out the side of the glass. And I mean, really, you can take this glass and another glass like a Glencairn and put the same liquor into both of them and come out with a totally different taste in both of them. And that neat glass I mean, it's a totally different experience. And it's something that I didn't believe until I actually experimented myself. The glass is just freaking ridiculous. It's expensive. And we were fortunate enough to bring these guys on as the sponsors, thanks to Damon again. And we'll be able to share that experience and give that to our VIP sponsors in the form of raffles. And something that he didn't touch on, which is a benefit of being a VIP ticket holder, is that you also get a preferred access to all of our events. Because you can imagine that we having all of these people, hundreds of people that are coming into town and that live here, that'll be coming to these events at these cigar lounges. These cigar lounges cannot hold 100, 200, 300, 500 people, whoever decides to show up. So our VIP holders will have preferred access to the events. So you're not on the outside looking in because you came an hour late to event and it's already packed out. So, it's a lot of, advantage for a VIP holder to hold that ticket. Just the survival kit alone, that's a $200 to $300 value alone, and that's still growing. We're still having sponsors that are coming on weekly, so we're still adding to that. So we strongly encourage people to get a VIP ticket.
So to Clint's point, though, I want to make sure we mention this because it's very important. I want to give a shout out to some of our Cigarfest Survival Kit sponsors in the way of cigars. Now, we've got Goldie, formerly known as Bespoke Cigars. I would just receive the Instagram message because I was only asking people for a box of 20 or a bundle of 20 cigars, right?
Yeah.
He said, "Hey, I'm sending you 50 cigars." I said, 50? He said, "Yeah, 50. Now, some people who do Cigar Fest might scoff at that and say that's nothing. I would get people to donate hundreds and hundreds of cigars. Well, see, here's the problem, right? And this is why what we're doing is a little bit different. I'm not saying better. I'm just saying different. Sometimes when you go to a cigar company and you ask them to sponsor your event, and one of the first questions you get is how many cigars you want, and you start saying 200, 300, 400 cigars, and start looking at you sideways, right? So what I did was, instead of going and saying, all right, I want to go to one cigar company and get 200 or 300 cigars, I said, well, I'll just get 10 or 20 cigars from 10 or 20 different brands. And that is a heck of a lot easier. So people will drop you 20, 40 cigars like it ain't nothing. So shout out to Goldie for sending us 50 cigars. Shout out to ATL Cigar Company. If you guys have never heard of them, brand new cigar company in Atlanta, ATL Cigar Company. They sent us 60 cigars, 20 each of their blends. Shout out to Carolina Blue, Amendola, and a host of other ones. So, but the thing is this, that with the different cigars that we're going to have, that means that no 3 Cigar Fest survival kits will actually have all the same cigars. Some people might get Goldie and this and something else. Some people might else get Carolina Blue or something else like this, but everybody will have the same amount of cigars. The one cigar that everybody will have, shout out to Aganorsa, we will have a commemorative cigar with our own band on it that is made by Aganorsa. Whether you have, and this is actually something we're going to extend to everybody who buys a ticket, is whether you buy a VIP ticket or a Saturday pass or a dinner ticket, every ticket holder will get a commemorative cigar.
Absolutely. And just to touch on the other tickets outside of the VIP, we have the Saturday All Access Pass, which gives you access to our Beer and Cigar Festival Saturday afternoon, and also gives you access to the Puros and Blanco, which is cigars and white events that night. And then we also, for those who just want to come out for one night or just want to come to the cigar dinner, we have a Puros and Blanco ticket. You know what I mean? That's $150. However, again, you're getting us. It's, you know, so we got a ticket for everybody. We'll be releasing one other ticket that we haven't released yet. That'll be coming in the next couple of weeks for those who just want to come to the Beer and Cigar Festival. But we strongly encourage everyone to get the VIP ticket because that's the biggest value because of the Queen City Cigar Fest survival kit. I can't stress that enough. You're getting, access, preferred access to the event, and you're getting the swag box. I hate to refer to it as a swag box, but
that's essentially what it is. It's a VIP swag box.
Yeah, but ours is different. You know what I mean? But it's all good.
Well, you guys have certainly expanded and expounded upon Queen City Cigar Festival. I think it's going to be absolutely amazing. Again, we're 8 days away from it. We're very, very excited. We have reached that point of this episode where we want to give a major shout out to Grand Brulot.
Absolutely. Francisco, the owner, Jameson and the Lovers team, the experienced brokers, everyone who's involved with this partnership. Thank you guys so much for your support. Francisco, we got some cool things planned in the future for sure. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a cognac unlike anything you've ever had. Again, we stand on it for a reason. The Instagram handle is @Grand-Brulot, and that's BRULOT, excuse me. We promise it is different than anything you've ever tasted. We stand on it for a reason. Grand Brulot cognac.
I'm gonna need some of that, man.
Because that's the first place that I've ever even heard of or seen Grand Brulot. Because I see him on Instagram, advertising. I'm like, okay, he has me wanting to try to taste it a little bit.
Zero disappointment. Man. I can promise you that.
On point.
Yes.
So as we get ready to wind things down, one of the questions that we ask everybody who comes on the show, and Goldie, you already been through this, so Clinton, I'll put it to you first. It is you at a round table, and there are 5 other seats at the table. You need to have anybody at your table. The only caveat is you can't have whatever religious deity you believe in.
Say that again. I can't have who?
The only caveat is that you can't have, whatever religious higher power you believe in at your table. Who are your 5 people?
5 people? Is this cigar related to table?
No right or wrong answer.
No right or wrong.
Living or dead?
Living or dead, anybody you want.
Okay, Jay-Z. Barack Obama. Damon Robinson.
Get the hell out of here. You don't want me at your table. I'm already at your table.
Listen, I think how live you do. That ain't
what you tell me. You calling me an asshole all the doggone time.
All the time. But you got a mind on you, man. I respect your mind and I respect your intellect.
Hey, Damon, but notice which finger he used to make your number.
What's that?
Jay-Z, Barack Obama, Damon, and who your last 2?
Okay, the last 2. Wow. Dave Chappelle.
That's a good one.
Ooh. The mind on that brother, right?
For sure.
And the 5th one would be Elon Musk.
Quality.
You're a tech guy, so I can see that.
You know what I mean? For tech reasons.
Damon, real quickly, as we land the plane, I'm going to switch it up for you since you've been on the show. When people leave Queen City Cigar Festival, what will they leave? What experience will they leave with?
They're going to leave with a great experience, specifically the things that we're trying to tailor the week around It's going to be, of course, a very social environment, but at the same time, you have the opportunity to network with people. You'll have the opportunity to get some cigar education. Because people who know me, they know I'm very heavy into cigar and tobacco education. Not a cigar nerd, but I'm a tobacco nerd. So I'm very into people understanding why, helping people understand why they like what they like or why they don't like what they like, which is, why we're doing the cigar and whiskey pairing at the Cigar Law is to kind of focus on that. So yeah, you will leave with cigar education, networking, social, the social experience, a great time, and also because of I hate to mention it again, but it's actually very important, the Cigar Fest Survival Kit, because you'll have something tangible to take away with you in addition to having the memory of a great experience that you had.
Well, I, for one, want to thank you guys for this experience. It's been educational, and to look at, as you unfold, what it looks like to actually put on an event. Mo and myself know what that's like with the VisionLab Podcast Annual Golf Classic. And shout out to Dallas Leaf. They are the official title sponsor for the Golf Classic. That's going to be June 19th. 8:30 shotgun start at the Irving Golf Club off of East Shady Grove Road in Irving, Texas. So hopefully you guys get a chance to come out to our golf event. And for all of our visionaries that are tuning in, make sure you go out and support this entire team out in North Carolina at the Queen City Cigar Festival. It's going to be amazing. You're about a week away, so we're very, very excited for you. Hopefully we'll get an opportunity to partner with you guys in the future. And as we land this plane, we always ask this question to everyone. And I'm going to kick it over to you, Goldie, first, because you do have the experience. As a reminder, we do have a magical time machine here in the Vision Lab. What advice, and this is specific to, Queen City Cigar Festival, okay? What advice would you be giving yourself from 5 years ago as it relates to the event?
Ooh, shit. What advice would I give my 5-year younger self regarding Queen City Cigar Fest?
Exactly.
Damn, that's a good ass question. Oh, damn, why you had to put me on the spot like that?
My answer came to me like that.
Clint.
You know what? Hold on, wait, because I don't want Clint's answer to influence.
I know. I don't want your answer to be mine.
So, well, I'm gonna go first as they ask me. So, like, shit. I would probably say, let me see, 5 years ago is what, 2021. So it was like, shit. Let me see. It was 2016. So shit. What would I have said to myself? I probably would have said, shit.
Really?
Damn, I'm trying to think. Like, okay, so I got it. So I'm thinking back to 2016 when I got here and I had this idea, but I didn't know anybody, right? I would probably have said to my younger self, this is probably gonna sound fucked up, but I probably would have said to myself, don't be so aggressive. Because see, I have a tendency to be very aggressive, and some people call it assholeish, and I'll take that, but I have a tendency to be very aggressive with, things that I want to do, things that I feel or whatever, and sometimes that rubs people the wrong way, So I would probably tell my younger self, go with the flow more, be a little bit more easygoing, form the relationships, which I did, which they have helped us right now. But when I look at, this is being honest, when I look at the amount of non-support that we are getting from right here from some of the people who I think that should be supporting our event, even though we're getting tremendous support. Like when I say tremendous, I'm talking about all over the freaking nation. It's a little disheartening when I look at the lack of support that we're getting right here from certain, groups or certain people, I should say, right here within the Charlotte area. And I know that is attributed to things I've heard, which is some people have hate for me and they have hate for Drita. Everybody loves Clint, but they got hate for me and they got hate for Drita for any number of freaking reasons. So I would say here, you know, just try to mitigate the amount of hate that you'll probably get, and don't be so aggressive. Just kind of go with the flow. And I'd say that. That's fair.
Good answer. Good answer. Honest. And that's one thing I appreciate about you, Goldie, is that you're going to give us the real. Clint, we're going to flip it over to you, but you don't get it as easy. All right. So we're going to fast forward the clock 5 years from now. Okay. So Queen City Cigar Fest has been going on for the last 5 years. What advice are you giving yourself from 5 years ago or 5 years from now? What advice is that person telling you today?
Choose your partners carefully. Put thought into that. Because the reason why I say that is because, you know, the amount of work that has taken to get us this far, you know, I couldn't have imagined getting this far with other people. You know who's around you, you know, you come to realize that people that wanted to be involved or have certain feelings because they weren't involved, and you know we go through that or whatever, and that's the hate that he's talking about. But when I think about what we have accomplished so far and what we're about to accomplish, I have to attribute that to not only just me but my partners. So choose your partners very carefully. That's important, because you can't think about, you know, someone getting past the first event, but we're looking long term with this. We trying to build a legacy here. This is not going to be a one and done situation. We plan for this to be something that's going to be bigger and better every year, and I don't think that's possible with the wrong partners. You know what I mean? So I you know, looking back, I would say to myself, because I can see myself doing this for years with them. So I would say choose your partners very carefully. And
sound advice. I absolutely love that answer.
Sage advice.
That's a great word.
Thank you.
You know, Goldie, want to say a big shout out to you and say thank you for dropping into the lab. Clint, thank you as well, sir. And to elegant plume herself,
Drita. We look forward to talking.
I wish she could have been here, man. I wish she could.
All the best to you, Drita.
Absolutely. And for those that,
hey, can I say something real quick before we land the plane?
All me.
I want to make sure that, because we would be remiss if we did not mention this, and we haven't mentioned this so far. There was a point where I had opportunity. I think both of us had an opportunity to mention it because you guys touched on it. You talk about the team. No one gets anywhere alone. You can move fast by yourself, but you can move a lot further with a team. It's not just myself, Clint, and Drita. We have a 9-people team that we have. So we would be remiss if we didn't mention our 6 ambassadors. We will give a shout out to Tyson, Drita's fiance, who's also one of our ambassadors. Shout out to Ty. We want to give a shout out to Antonio, 704 Ash King. 704 Ash King on Instagram, who's a local Charlatan. We'll give a shout out to Cup Kink, Cupkink, Brittany Garrett. We'll give a shout out to Jeff Welliver, who's a local businessman. I think Jeff is a realtor here. We'll give a shout out to Cigar Guy 85, Quint Brown, who also has a Instagram, Canning Guy 85. He takes a lot of photos. He's heavily immersed into the cigar culture here. I want to give a shout out to our only remote ambassador, Rob, Traveling Cigars on Instagram. We'll give a shout out to him. So, like I said, we can't get anywhere alone. It's because of the people that we have on our team that we're able to, make this thing a success. So shout out to the entire team.
Great point, man.
Gentlemen, it's been really, really good to sit down. Obviously, Goldie, you know how we feel about you. Anytime we get a chance to holler at you, it's all great. Clint, it's great to finally meet you. And again, Drita, we look forward to talking to you and the whole squad later on down the road for sure. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Ryan Mosley. My partner's name is Ryan Cuffey. The voices you've been listening to are Damon Goldie Robinson and Clinton Douglas. Next week, we'll have the one and only Amanda McLaren on the show. And until next week, we'll see you guys on another great episode of the Vision Lab podcast.
And remember, each one of our guests are dropping nuggets of wisdom here on the Trail of Life. No matter where you are, it's up to you to pick them up. So on behalf of the Vision Lab podcast, we'll see you guys next week.
Blessings.